Alrighty guys, a little bit of unexpected news here, but let's talk about Dune Part 3 or Dune Messiah. We don't know if it's officially going to be called Dune Messiah, but that is, I think, what everyone's assumption is. I think it's a pretty safe assumption that this is going to be the basis for Dune Part 3, the third film in one of the most successful sci-fi adaptations, I would say, ever from book to screen. Denis Villeneuve has just done an amazing job. And we have some interesting news here, actually casting news, because it looks like from all accounts that Denis Villeneuve hasn't even finished his script, although the article indicates that it's in its final stages, so it's in the finishing touches, which is good. It's good to hear. And the film is reportedly going to be filming later on in the summer. And it looks like, according to a lot of sources here, including Deadline, which I'm reading from, that Dune 3, is eyeing Robert Pattinson, none other than Mickey Barnes from Mickey 17, or Bruce Wayne from The Batman, or, Edward from Twilight. But, he's done a lot of fantastic work in the past few years, including, I didn't love Mickey 17. You can go check out my review there. I think he was phenomenal in it. For what he was trying to do, Robert Pattinson, I thought he was great. He also was in Tenet, so he's been in just some really high profile movies. He's filming The Odyssey, I think right now actually, which is interesting as well. So according to these sources, Robert Pattinson is being eyed to play a role. Let's read from this article here, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just a couple of little snippets here and there. So here we go. Exclusive. Quote, even as Denis Villeneuve puts the finishing touches on his script for the next installment in the Dune franchise, the director already has his sights out on a new addition to the all-star ensemble. That is an understatement. All-star ensemble, understatement. While sources close to the project say no formal offer has been presented, so that's important, Deadline is hearing there is strong interest in Robert Pattinson joining the cast. Legendary had no comment. Legendary being the studio in association with Warner Brothers. The article goes on, quote, the film already features an A-list ensemble that includes Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, and Zendaya, and many are expected to return. Even so, a handful of new roles remain, and as with any Dune project, stars are lining up at the chance to appear in the Oscar-winning franchise. And we'll talk about Dune Messiah, not in spoilery detail, but just the fact that yes, there are some interesting new characters at play here. In fact, the article goes on to say, quote, while confirmed, I think it should say while not confirmed, but anyways, while not confirmed, sources say Pattinson would play the villain role of Scytl. Honestly, I've only read the book. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but he's one of the main characters, or one of the more interesting characters. Obviously, the villain a villain, as they pointed out in the article here. And yeah, that is an interesting role. So that is interesting news. It appears that Robert Pattinson does not have any kind of formal offer on the table, right? According to this article, but it would make sense that you have one of the bigger up and coming. I say up and coming, one of the hotter names in Hollywood, I would say right now, in Robert Pattinson. And he's been doing a lot of really high profile work with a lot of really interesting directors. Obviously, Bong Joon-ho with Mickey 17. He's doing one with Christopher Nolan. Again, he was in Tenet, and now he is in The Odyssey. And so with Denis Villeneuve, it's almost like he's checking off a list here of a lot of really great directors to work with. I think it's encouraging news that we're just adding talent, more talent to Dune Part 3 or Dune Messiah, whatever they're going to call it. Because again, you can never have enough, right? You can never have enough A-list talent. Just look at the cast of The Odyssey. That is incredible. And I think that just continuing to add people to this cast would be really interesting. Other articles are questioning whether this would impact, and apparently a couple sources do say that this will impact the filming of The Batman Part 2. I honestly don't think that's true, because I think from what I understand, right, there's an understanding that The Batman Part 2 will start filming later on in this year, probably in the October to December range is when it will start filming. And if Dune Part 3 starts filming in, let's say, June or July, that's plenty of time for Robert Pattinson to finish out his role. He probably would only need maybe 5-6 weeks in total. And so I think it's not like Timothée Chalamet, who again needs to be on the set pretty much every day, for 2 or 3 months. And even then, I don't think anyone would be on set for too long, because the filming windows for these kinds of films, even though they're super big, are not like 6 months or a year. So I think that that's something that's encouraging. And I think that Robert Pattinson, if The Batman Part 2 is ready to film in late 2025, that he will be ready to do so. So guys, what do you think about this news that Robert Pattinson is reportedly being eyed to play a role, perhaps a villainous role, in Dune Part 3? Let me know in the comments down below.